Unstoppable authors. I am going to talk about 2 quick tips for how to write in deep point of view. And honestly, if you haven't thought about these things before, they could transform your writing. And if you're not quite sure what deep point of view is, I will talk about that too. I'm Bryn Donovan. This is Moxie, by the way, and I am an editor at a publishing house during the day, and I am also a writer. And this video is part of a weekly series that's kind of like a fiction writing course, except it's free and you don't have to wear pants. So go ahead and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. It's really great to connect with you here. All right, if you are doing the blank page to final draft program, next week is when you hit the midpoint of your novel. Very exciting. If you've been doing one step every week, you should hit the halfway mark by then. And when we hit the halfway mark, we're going to take a few weeks to do some editing and make sure the novel is on track before we go ahead and write the second half. Now you can involve beta readers in that or not. It's up to you. If you do want to use beta readers, you might want to start sweet talking them now, but it's completely optional. All right, deep point of view. Deep point of view describes a kind of writing where there is not much distance between the reader and the point of view character. So you're feeling their feelings, you're experiencing their experiences. There's not an intrusive author voice coming in between you and that character's experience. And I think deep point of view has become a lot more popular in recent decades because it makes the book just more engrossing and more gripping. The first thing you can do to write in deeper point of view is to omit filtering verbs. Filtering verbs refer to thoughts or perceptions, and they are verbs like she thought, he felt, he realized, she wondered. Verbs like that. For instance, if you had a sentence that said, she noticed the front door was open. She noticed there is a filtering verb, and we really don't need it. It kind of puts the reader at arm's length from the character. So instead, what we can say is, the front door was open. We already know we're in her point of view. We know that she noticed it because we only notice things that she notices. We don't have to have that in there. Moving on with that, you might have a sentence that says something like, she wondered if anyone was still at home. Again, she wondered. Wondered is the filtering verb there that we don't need. The way we would rewrite that in deep point of view would be something like, was anybody still at home? It would be a question in her mind. Yeah, so that's the first thing you can do to write in deep point of view is cutting all those filtering, or most of those filtering verbs. And if you have a problem in your manuscript where you say she, or he, that sounds like laughing, but anyway, you have those pronouns over and over. This could be because you're using too many of those filtering verbs, and just cutting them out will take care of that problem. The second thing you can do to write in deep point of view is what I call don't tell us until you tell us. And in fact, I write this in the margins in manuscripts that I'm editing all the time. Don't tell us until you tell us. What this means is your point of view character can't react to something until it happens. And so an example of this is if someone writes a sentence like, little did she know that she would meet her future husband that night. Well, yeah, she doesn't know, and we don't know because we don't know anything that she doesn't know. Little do any of us know. So you don't write a sentence like that. You just walk the character through the scene. We experience things at the same time the character does. And this even pertains to tone of voice. So you're not going to say the tone of voice before you have a line of dialogue. Moxie has been trembling here a little bit because an alarm is going off at one of our neighbors. It's okay, baby. It's okay. All right, so you might have a sentence like, he said in a weary tone, of course. Well, we can't hear the weary tone before he says it, and so there's a couple of ways that we can fix that for deeper point of view. We could change it to, it's okay, baby. We could change it to, he sighed, of course. Or we could change it to something like, he rubbed his eyes, of course. So we put the gesture in there to show the weariness instead of just saying he's talking in a weary tone. It's always better to show than tell, or about 90% of the time it is better to show than tell. So it's just better writing. So those are 2 ways you can write in deeper point of view. Cut out those filtering verbs, and don't tell us before you tell us. If you have questions about this, please just ask them in the comments below. I'd love to talk about it more. If you're doing blank page to final draft, go ahead and write to the middle of your novel, and we'll talk about fixing everything up next week. Go ahead and hit the like button. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great week, and happy writing.